I'd like to bring the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. David SCHMIDT, founder and CEO of LifeWave.
Thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
Oh, thank you as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to be to join us here today as a special speaker, as a special guest. It's an honor to have you here. We're just so blessed and grateful to have such a generous founder and CEO such as yourself. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, thank you. And it all starts with the members, so I'm happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me just translate that real quick. Dijo que gracias por tenerlo aquí. Le dije que gracias a él por ser tan bondadoso, tan generoso con las promociones que lanza aquí construyendo a la convención anual de la empresa, y verdaderamente estamos muy agradecidos con él por su bondad y su generosidad con nosotros, construyendo de evento en evento, pero también de promoción en promoción. Así es que muchas gracias a él. One of the things I like to ask you, of course, it's been 18 years in the making, right? It's been 18 years of the company. I'm sure you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm sure that we're going to focus on the good and all the great things that have been happening. The industry has changed a lot. The industry of network marketing is not what it was 10, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 10 years, even 5 years ago. And it's also, because we have a lot of leaders here, we have a lot of people with experience in the industry. We're going to actually level this type of Q&A or this interview to a level of understanding where a lot of leaders are going to realize, okay, this is the right place, the right time, the right company, the right product, the right CEO, the right team, the right system, and those 5 pillars of success that you have to have in order to have a company that's going to be here 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years later. So I wanted to ask you, I'm sure you had other options to take this amazing technology, these amazing products, different directions, right? Different marketing channels. But I wanted to ask you, why MLM? Why through network marketing? Why through this incredible industry? At the time, did you know the industry? Were you aware of the industry? And why did you choose network marketing and bless millions of people around the globe with an opportunity, not only using the products, but also promoting the products to their loved ones? Why network marketing?
Yeah, thank you, Oz. That's a fantastic question. So this started back in 2002. And when I had the first LifeWave prototype, I began to think about how can we make these in large volume. We have to do clinical studies to validate that this is something real. And then, of course, we have to find a way to market it. So at the time, I was really thinking about some very traditional ways of marketing, maybe through radio, through TV, through retail stores like GNC. And I had been introduced to a number of business friends and business people, and started to have these meetings. And what happened was I had a business friend who met a fellow that was interested in investing in LifeWave in a movie theater. And so I had met with this guy, and he said, well, I'm a contractor. I don't know anything about science. Would you talk to a doctor that I know? So I spoke with the doctor, and the doctor said, well, this is, I find this really interesting. Let me send, some information on this to another doctor I know, which he did. And then that doctor sent information on the patches over to Stanford University. And 3 weeks after that first meeting, I was at Stanford putting patches on Olympic swimmers. And that all happened because of networking. So it became obvious over about a 2-year period of time of doing market research that networking was the right way to go. And so we launched as a network company in November of 2004. And it's been incredible ever since. We did $17 million in sales our very first year. And, then we were off to the races. So it's been an incredible industry for us.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, that's awesome. Let me just translate that for the Spanish-speaking public here as well and leaders. Dice que en el 2002 más o menos es cuando tuvo la oportunidad y las opciones de poder llevar estos productos, esta tecnología a través de radio, publicidad en radio, publicidad en televisión, publicidad en periódicos. En este entonces la publicidad era mucho en papel, periódicos, revistas, cosas así, ¿no? Entonces, pero que tenía un amigo que era experto en el área médica y tenía muchos amigos expertos en el área médica, especialmente en tecnologías nuevas y novedades, ¿no? Entonces, que este amigo le lleva el producto a alguien, a un médico, a alguien, un doctor en la Universidad de Stanford. Entonces, allí es cuando empezó la novedad, pues, de que este producto podía ser y expandirse mucho más rápido a través de redes de mercadeo. Y es cuando decidieron llevarlo a través de redes de mercado porque para llevar la voz más rápido al público, no solamente a los rincones de Estados Unidos, sino a los rincones de Asia en Europa. Y de hecho empezó a crecer mucho más en otros países. Entonces, así es como comenzó en el 2004 la empresa. Se empezó a establecer como empresa de redes de mercadeo. El primer año fue un año de $17 millones y después de ahí cada año siguió creciendo la empresa muy levemente y no tuvo un crecimiento exponencial hasta ya después con los demás productos que ahorita vamos a hablar de ellos. Well, thank you so much for that great answer, Mr. David Schmidt. One question that we wanted to ask you is, you know, the company 2004 was established, 16, 17 million that first opening year. I'm sure the growth was very, stable, little by little, right? When did you see the explosion of growth happen? And what do you think caused that explosion of growth?
Well, that's an interesting question because we've had all different types of phases in the company. The one thing that I would say to all the entrepreneurs that we have on today is that there's always going to be challenges that you're going to face, and you're always going to have difficulties and obstacles, and it really requires a lot of patience and persistence as an entrepreneur to be successful. Everybody can be happy and motivated when we're having growth, but when there's obstacles and challenges, that's when you really find out what you're made of, and you have to reach down inside you, pray for guidance and strength and keep going. And if you do that, you can make it through, the challenges that you're faced with. And so we had an initial surge of growth in 2005. We had then the year after that was pretty stable. But then we actually got hit by a credit card fraud in very late 2006. And that was very tough on the company. And 2007 was a very, very tough year for us. But then as we came back in 2008, we resolved, the issue. We started to see sales double year over year in 2008, 2009, 2010. And so things really came back. It was between then, I'd say then in 2018, that sales were very stable for many years. We had small growth, but very stable. And then, of course, once 2018 hit, the sales took off like crazy because of X39. So sales in just this past June were more than the entire year of 2018. And last year, of course, the sales were over 10 times higher than 2018. So, and this year is going to be more still. So our growth rate has been extraordinary ever since 2018. I'll put it that way.
Awesome. Well, that's great to know, and we know that every great business sometimes in the beginning or in the middle has hiccups, and sometimes has obstacles, and we always say that obstacles are just confirmation that something greater is coming because that right
Yeah,
because
that's right.
because after adversity comes a blessing all the time, right? After the storm comes the calm, and you got the great sunsets, and you got the great weather, and you got the beautiful smell and everything, right? So
Yeah.
that's just confirmation of great things happening. So we can see that in 2019, 18, 19 was a great year, as we can see based on the numbers that the company has been publishing, right? So yeah, let me just translate that part to the
Yep.
Latino speakers here. Dice que en el 2007-8, la empresa, como toda empresa exitosa, como todo éxito o todo jornada de éxito, hay obstáculos siempre, ¿no? Yo le comentaba que después de los obstáculos hay una confirmación de que viene el éxito, porque después de los obstáculos viene la bendición. Entonces, después de la tormenta viene la calma, ¿no? Entonces, me está diciendo él, nos está diciendo que el 2007-2008 la empresa tuvo un obstáculo de fraude de tarjetas de crédito, donde la empresa estaba creciendo y hubo gente haciendo cosas indebidas y hicieron fraude con la empresa en tarjetas de crédito. En ese momento, pues él tenía dos opciones, a continuar o cerrar y ya no continuar. Entonces, que decidió continuar, y gracias a esa continuación vinieron más productos mejores, nueva tecnología, vinieron nuevos descubrimientos, y en el 2000, casi 10 años después, en el 2018, termina la tecnología del X39. 2019 fue un año récord. En el 2020 fue un año en plena pandemia, siguió creciendo la empresa, y en el 2021 22, de hecho, tuvimos el mes pasado, tuvimos el mes más fuerte, que en un mes se produjo lo que en el 2018 se producía en todo un año. En un solo mes pudimos producir lo que 3 o 4 años en el 2014, 15, 16 o 17 se producían en 3 años. Entonces, en un solo mes, el mes pasado, tuvimos el mes más grande de toda la empresa. Y bueno, ¿qué hubiera pasado si él hubiera dicho, sabes que hasta aquí en el 2008, que hubiera dicho, sabes que vamos a cerrarla y no hay que continuar? Pero siguió adelante, siguió perseverando y alcanzó, y ahorita estamos como una de las empresas de más rápido crecimiento, como una de las empresas más sólidas, más estables, y seguimos creciendo como empresa y como productos también. Entonces, thank you, Mr. David Schmidt. Another question would be, we're hearing a lot of leaders are saying, well, I've never heard of LifeWave. It's been around for 18 years. Where has it been? How come we've never heard of it, right? And my answer to them is like, we're doing a reverse launch. I mean, the company grew in Asia and Europe a lot more than it did in the US. And maybe you have the answer to that. And I tell them it's a reverse launch. So now it's time for the US and North America, Latin America to grow with Asia and Europe, right? Because we're doing literally a reverse launch where a lot of the volume is coming out of the Asia Pacific and Europe, but now we have the opportunity here back at home, right? So it's like, and maybe you can explain and elaborate a little bit of that. Why do you think that was?
Oh, that's so hard to say. We had a very small business in the US for many years, small business in Taiwan. We opened an office in Taiwan in 2008, and we did about $1 million a year. So very small business there. And we're now in the top 30 largest network marketing companies in Taiwan. We just broke into that this year. But most of our business was coming from Europe. As you say, we launched there in 2008. We got initial traction in Spain and France, Italy, and we did very well with that. So yeah, about 80% of our business for many years came from Europe. And we didn't get a lot of attention, right here in the US or some other markets. But again, everything really changed in 2018. We began to bring on new leaders like yourself and like Therese, who went out and started to build the market and have just done an incredible job. So it's really always the leaders that are going to come in and build up the business. And that's certainly what's happened for us. So we've been very blessed with great leaders.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's great too. Well, thank you for that. And it's, I think the company's ready, and a lot of leaders who might have joined, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Some of them are still around, like Mr. Roy and a couple other people, Mr. Lorenzo and Rick DeLuca, you name it. There's some great leaders too that have been around through the obstacles and everything else that company has been going through, and so they came to pave the way for us, and we're just here on the freeway now, just building this thing, with great products, great promotions, great everything, great opportunities. So yeah, but also too, one thing that I was that we were talking about when I first met you, when I was over at corporate, and then we did a we did a Q&A. Would you agree that the U.S. has been highly medicated for so long, and so it's like, when you have a product this powerful, I mean, it's just amazing results that we're seeing, that people are seeing, and that's one thing that I noticed, that Asians, they're not medicated at all. They don't believe in stuff like that. So what can you add to that?
Yeah, well, that is true. Here in the U.S., we're much more ingrained in the pharmaceutical model, whereas in markets that we're very strong in, such as Taiwan and Japan, and even in Europe, people practice much more energy medicine, things like acupuncture, energy massage, of course, Chinese herbalism, and things that are going to promote natural healing. So our products, of course, are based on technology to heal the body with light and promote natural responses in the body using light. So instead of using a drug to produce a change, we're going to stimulate the skin with light to activate the stem cells or to improve the immune system. And this way of thinking is very well accepted, of course, throughout Asia. But here in the US, it takes many people a little bit longer to wrap their mind around that. But what's made the difference is our stem cell product, X39, and now, of course, X49. So previously, our products were all about improving general wellness, anti-aging effects, stress reduction, and that, I think, fits in very well, of course, with everybody, but I think that explains why we had so much traction in Asia. And then, of course, now all of a sudden we introduce a stem cell product, and that really has very, very broad appeal. So that's been the transition point for the explosion of growth that we've had in the US.
Awesome. Great to know. Let me translate that there as well, which is a very important piece. Dice que la razón por qué hemos crecido más en el 2018-19, número uno, es por el producto X39. Pero la razón también, yo le pregunté que por qué la empresa había crecido mucho más en Asia, en Europa, y en Estados Unidos estamos haciendo un lanzamiento reversivo en Estados Unidos, Norteamérica, Centro y Suramérica. Y me dice que la razón es porque, número uno, la empresa se empezó a dar más en Asia y en Europa, ¿verdad? Y de repente también porque la gente allá es más, no cree tanto en medicina tradicional. Aquí la gente en Estados Unidos y en partes de Norteamérica, la gente está altamente medicada, y cuando tú le llegas con un producto natural, con un producto, una tecnología diferente que trabaja naturalmente con el cuerpo, no lo captan porque están altamente medicados, tomando diferentes tipos de medicaciones farmacéuticas y cosas así. Pero los asiáticos, los europeos, ellos saben de esto porque ellos tienen 2,000 años, más de 3,000 años usando alternativas naturales, alternativas holísticas, alternativas más que tienen que ver con la fototerapia, que tienen que ver con la acupuntura, cosas así. Entonces es por eso que cuando nosotros llegamos aquí, la empresa, pues en el 2004, 2010, 2014, la gente allá afuera no entendía muy bien el concepto, pero ahorita con lo que ha pasado los últimos 2 años, la gente gente ya sabe lo que es un sistema inmune, la gente ya sabe lo que es el cuerpo humano, por qué tienes que proteger tu cuerpo humano y por qué tienes que usar alternativas que usualmente no funcionarían, ¿verdad? Entonces, dice él que por eso quizás el crecimiento últimamente en los últimos años, también aparte del X39 y los demás productos que están aquí ahorita en el mercado, en la empresa, ¿verdad? Y la tecnología más que nada. One other question that we as leaders were talking about and conversing, which, you know, what would be a key question to know and why? So the growth in the last month, as we mentioned, I understand last month we had another record month in record-breaking week as well within that month, right?
Yeah.
And that is impressive. That is great to see when many other companies out there are not really growing. They're stagnant. They hit the plateaus and you name it. But here we are growing like no other company, attracting leaders of high calibers, high profile leaders, seasoned networkers, and people and professionals in their own careers, you know, such as, you know, attorneys and people just in the professional realm, C-level executives, and you name it, company owners. So the question is, we understand we just had our record-breaking month and then our week within a month. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I know you mentioned that a little bit in the beginning, but right now we like to see and kind of hear what took place and how exciting that was. I'm sure at corporate everybody was excited how much growth we saw and what maybe what caused it.
Well, first, there's so many things that cause that that have to come together. First thing is I want to thank Lori Berger. I want to thank Emily Hollingshead and really the entire marketing team and sales team. They're doing a phenomenal job. You know, it takes a lot of people to make everything run properly. And we've spent the time and money to invest back into our infrastructure. So in terms of our manufacturing capacity, we have the ability to support a company doing more than $1 billion a year in sales. So we fully know that we're going to hit that, and it's just a matter of time. So we wanted to build up our infrastructure so it would support that. So as we're getting these record months, we don't have any worries that we're going to be able to keep up with that. But yeah, the sales and marketing team, especially Lori and Emily, I want to give them a shout out and thank them because they're doing such a phenomenal job putting together, you know, a series of promotions, putting together tools for the members so that these promotions can be successful. And then we're also just incredibly blessed to be attracting some incredible talent. We've taken on new leaders in all different pockets around the world now. In addition to the US, of course, we've got new leaders that came in Japan, in Malaysia, some new leaders in Europe. Of course, we want to build up the market in Mexico now that we're building an office there. And so I think a lot of those things contribute overall to, you know, why we would have such a phenomenal month in June. And you know, I think it was just one of those things where all the promotions were there, the talent was there for our leaders and our members, and people responded. And yeah, we had the biggest commission week in the history of the company, which was amazing. And of course, you know, the sales finished out the biggest in our history. So yeah, so for me, at the end of the day, I want to know that people are benefiting from the products because that's what it's all about. And like in one recent case, we had a group of new leaders that just came in, and it was their first 2 weeks, and they sponsored 500 people their first 2 weeks, which of course is insane. And so they've been really punching it and hitting it. And they sent me a personal thank you. And they said, and the first thing they said was, we have never seen testimonials like this before. the experiences people are having with these products are insane. That was an exact quote. So to me, that's really where it starts, is that we want our members and our customers to be having phenomenal experiences with the product and have very, very high satisfaction with that. And then, of course, once they have those experiences, they're going to be excited about it. They'll tell others, and then they'll go out and build the business. So to me, the financial success, it's all great, and we need money to run the company. And I want, of course, all of our entrepreneurs in our business to be successful so they can support their families, especially, you know, with inflation the way that it is. But none of that happens without, you know, a deep satisfaction in the product. So I'm really glad we've achieved that.
Awesome, great. Let me translate that, which is great information. Dice que básicamente le pregunté que por qué él mencionó que tuvimos el mes más grande de toda la empresa en 18 años, el mes pasado. Y le dije, ¿puede elaborar un poco en ese concepto que mencionó anteriormente? ¿Por qué cree usted que pasó ese crecimiento en la empresa? ¿Por qué tuvimos en un mes pudimos producir como empresa lo que en 3 años, 4 años producíamos en el 2014 al 2016, 17? Entonces me dice que él me dice que es una combinación, nos comentó que es una combinación de diferentes factores. Uno de ellos, número uno, las promociones buenísimas que el corporativo está lanzando, y porque el producto funciona tan bien. Obviamente hay personas en el corporativo que vieron cuáles productos funcionan, qué promociones serían las correctas y cosas así. La señora Lori, la señora Emily estuvieron viendo las opciones de qué promociones funcionarían, y como tenemos un producto tan poderoso, pudimos ver ese crecimiento. Y número uno, lo hicimos con el propósito de probar a ver si la empresa, la infraestructura está lista para un crecimiento masivo, un crecimiento explosivo. Y nos dimos cuenta que sí, porque en un mes pudimos abastecer todas las órdenes, pudimos abastecer el crecimiento que pasó, pudimos como empresa en el corporativo, tanto como nosotros en el campo, pudimos hacer y trabajar a la par para llegar a tener este récord, este mes de récord. Obviamente todo inicia con un producto que verdaderamente funciona, con un producto que la gente ve resultados, una tecnología que la gente allá afuera no encuentra solamente a través de la empresa LifeWave. De hecho, él nos comentaba que acaban de entrar unos cuantos líderes muy reconocidos en la industria, y que estos líderes a los 2-3 días están viendo resultados impresionantes, alucinantes, que nunca habían visto en la industria de redes de mercadeo, y vienen con el señor David SCHMIDT y le preguntan, oye, este producto está buenísimo, o sea, estamos viendo resultados en esto, resultados en aquello, la gente se está mejorando, está recuperándose, estamos viendo resultados abismales. Entonces, obviamente eso es porque la tecnología funciona, es porque el producto funciona, es porque verdaderamente tenemos un producto que aquí el levantamiento pesado, el apalancamiento más fuerte es el producto. Así es que, mi gente, es algo que nos tiene que dar mucha esperanza a nosotros, nos tiene que dar mucha paz, y saber que le estamos llevando a la gente un producto que verdaderamente funciona allá afuera, ¿verdad? Next question, Mr. David SCHMIDT, would be, I also understand at convention, you will release a new technology, maybe new products, new developments, or maybe just share with us what's been going on since last convention. When we were at last convention over in Orlando last November, that was the pre-launch of the X49, which has been an amazing product, amazing results. People are just blown away by how good it works in different areas of, of the body functions and things like that. I can't even imagine what's going to happen this convention, but if you can share a little bit of whatever you can share with us, we'll be so grateful if you can.
Yeah, this is going to make the November convention look like a warm-up. Honestly, we've just taken things to a whole other level, and there's no exaggeration there. First thing is, we are going to unveil a new technology, and I'm looking forward to sharing with our community what that's all about. I'm also have brought some videos with me of experiments that I've done in the lab that are going to show some new things that I've developed for age reversal. And so we've gotten to the point now where the technology is developed, and now we're starting up the clinical studies to see if this is going to reverse human aging. There's a lot of reasons why I believe that it will, and so I'm going to get into that in a little bit more detail and give people a look into the lab. There's also a number of surprises. I would say I am going to be. I can't tell you why, but I've invented the world's first nanotechnology frisbee. And you may be wondering, what does that have to do with LifeWave or the patches? And you're going to have to come to convention to find out. But I'm gonna bring this nanotechnology frisbee, and then you're going to find out what it's really about. I'll just say that as a tease. And there's a number of other big surprises that are coming. So yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I'd say another thing that I would say is on Saturday of the last convention, I showed off the direction that we'd be going in the future with agriculture and energy production and those things to help make the world a better place and expand on our opportunities. So I'm bringing one of those technologies with me that I teased in November. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to unveiling that. And I think our members are really going to enjoy it. So this is going to be very much about the opportunity in front of us today, new opportunities that are here now, and then what the future looks like for LifeWave in the coming years. And we have an opportunity as a company to really redefine the industry. I think, Oz, when you and I look back, 10 years from now, this will be a pivotal point for network marketing, because, historically, network marketing has been, there of course have been good players and not so good companies. But I think now the time has come where companies can innovate instead of, just selling average Me Too products. There are good products out there, but there's not as much innovation in our industry as there should be. And I think LifeWave can be part of something really important, that we can be a beacon to show the industry, hey, you can be successful with some pretty radical innovation. People are ready for that. And it will give our industry a whole series of new opportunities, and also allow the public perception of the network marketing industry to change in a very, very positive way. So I think this is going to be an incredibly important convention in that regard.
That's great to see, and that's great to know. And we look forward to experience that and be there in person. And that's why I tell people all the time, if you can't make it, do the virtual, but if you can be there, because that's going to be like nothing before, like no other, be able to experience that first nanotechnology frisbee and everything else that, why with LifeWave, why, how we can, correlate it with what we do and, our amazing technology and products and everything else that you're going to launch there. I'm sure is going to be great. Great education for a lot of us. It's going to be, it's going to bring our competence level to another level, and just be able to share with people what we have here as a company, as a technology, as products and everything else. So let me just translate that for the public here. And so le pregunté qué se puede esperar en la convención. Entendemos que en la convención va a traer descubrimientos nuevos, nueva tecnología, diferentes cosas que él ha estado que él ha estado trabajando en los laboratorios, ¿verdad? Entonces le preguntamos qué es lo que se puede esperar de la convención, si nos puede compartir, y él muy generosamente nos compartió que vienen diferentes productos, o sea, vienen diferentes tecnologías y vienen planes a crecimiento como empresa para el cuerpo humano, cosas que tienen que ver con antivejez, pero también reversear la vejez del cuerpo, reversear, retroceder las manecillas del reloj en el cuerpo humano. Y dice él que nos va a compartir videos, nos va a compartir diferentes cosas que ha estado haciendo en el laboratorio, videos y gráficas de lo que ha estado viendo en los laboratorios, lo que ha estado produciendo. Como él es inventor, es inventor y también tiene, pues, hace muchos inventos, ¿verdad? Es un genio en lo que hace. Ha estado trabajando en los laboratorios los últimos 2-3 años, especialmente durante la pandemia, en lo que la gente estaba descansando, él estaba trabajando en los laboratorios. Entonces nos dice que nos va a traer diferentes tecnologías y lo que el futuro va a demostrar en los siguientes 2, 5, 10 años aquí en la empresa LifeWave, donde hay tecnologías allá afuera que las empresas no tienen. Va a redefinir, literalmente va a estar redefiniendo la industria de redes de mercadeo, los productos y ciencia de la industria de redes de mercadeo, y esto va a ser algo clave para poder redefinir la industria de redes de mercadeo, y todo va a empezar en esta convención, que de hecho la última convención de noviembre ni siquiera fue un entrenamiento o ni siquiera fue calentamiento a comparación a lo que esta convención en agosto 19 y 20 va a tener en Orlando, Florida. Así es que nos dice que va a traer también un descubrimiento nuevo que acaba de inventar, que es un frisbee de tecnología nano. Ahora quizás te pregunta, ¿qué quiere decir un platillo volador? Un platillo volador de tecnología nano. ¿Y por qué un platillo volador de tecnología nano? Que se viene siendo el primer platillo volador de tecnología nano inventado por el señor David SCHMIDT. Ahora quizás te preguntes, él nos dice, quizás te preguntes qué tiene que ver un platillo volador, un frisbee, con la tecnología que tenemos aquí en nosotros en LifeWave. ¿Qué tiene que ver? O sea, ¿qué tiene que ver una cosa con otra? Bueno, tienes que estar ahí en la convención para que sepas de qué se trata este platillo volador y cómo es que se compagina con la tecnología que tenemos y los productos y lo que viene a futuro con nuestra empresa LifeWave, ¿verdad? Entonces tienes que estar ahí. Si lo vas a ver virtual, perfecto, pero tienes que estar ahí en persona para que lo puedas vivir y puedas ser partícipe de esa historia, ese libro que se va a escribir empezando en esta convención. Así es que tenemos que estar ahí en la convención. I was telling our people here, because of this technology and everything else that you're going to share with us, I'm sure you've been having a lot of time to be at the labs here for the last 2-3 years during the pandemic, while everybody was out there stressed out. You were in there creating. I think it was, Warren Buffett that said, or somebody said that average people talk about people. Success-driven people talk about ideas and create ideas or have ideas, and wise people make those ideas happen and those dreams happen, by putting action into things, right? So that's what you do. You're a very wise man, very knowledgeable when it comes to technology, inventions, and patents and things like that. So we can only imagine what you've been working on and kind of like what you've been doing the last 2-3 years during the pandemic and everything that's been going on. So I told everyone, let's be at convention. Let's make sure we're there to experience that first ever nanotechnology frisbee, as well as the other kind of discoveries and everything else you're going to share with us. In closing, what can you tell our people in regards to the convention? I mean, I know this is going to be a whole nother level of celebration. It's going to be an amazing event. It's probably going to be the biggest event LifeWave has seen in the last 18 years. It's probably going to be, I know there's been a big, huge investment into the production of this whole thing, of this big event, right? So what can you tell our people as far as to, why be at convention? Because this is going to be the one. I believe there's going to be books written about this company. I believe there's going to be books written about the technology, the products, the redefining of this company, redefining of the industry through network marketing, through this company, LifeWave. I honestly believe there's history being created right now with X39 X49 and these other products that we've had for years and the products that are coming and this technology and the discoveries that you are putting together in these labs. And this convention is probably going to be, it will be history in the making. So what can you tell our people to be part of this history in the making, to be in the books of history of network marketing, as well as the body and humanity and technology and everything else that we have to offer as a company?
Yeah, wow. There's a lot to say about that, Oz. The first thing is the top earners all go to convention. So if a person's aspirations are to become a leader in the network marketing community, then you go to convention. It's an opportunity to rub shoulders with your peers, to learn from the best, to learn new skills so you can take your business to the next level. Going to convention, of course, builds community. And as you say, this is going to be the biggest one that we've ever had. I can guarantee they're going to see things at this convention that they've never seen in the industry or any other company before. It's going to be a remarkable experience. We've invested more money actually in this convention than in any other event that we've ever held. We're expecting to sell out. We're actually talking about where we want to cap the capacity at this point because of the way that we've expanded the event. So yeah, the main reason for people to get there is to learn the new skills that they can use and implement to build their business. Plus, there's going to be a lot of surprises. There'll be some free gifts that people will get for coming to convention that are worth more than the price of the ticket, and they won't regret it. It's going to be awesome. Plus, it's in beautiful Orlando, Florida, you know.
Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Mi gente, nos dice nuestro fundador y CEO que verdaderamente tienes que estar presente en la convención. Este será uno de los eventos más grandes que la empresa ha hecho. La inversión la inversión de capital más fuerte que ha hecho la empresa en una producción masiva de este nivel, que estamos verdaderamente, vamos a ser parte de la historia, de los libros de la historia, y cómo la empresa LifeWave va a redefinir la industria de redes de mercadeo, y empieza en ese evento donde si quieres ser partícipe de los libros que se van a escribir, lo que se va a escribir, la historia que se va a escribir, tienes que estar en la convención, especialmente por la tecnología, todo lo que vamos a lanzar, y la cena de gala y todo, vas a recibir regalos. De hecho que vas a recibir tanto por tu inversión de estar ahí, que va a valer la pena totalmente. Así es que tienes que estar ahí. Nos vemos en la convención este 19 y 20 de agosto, mi gente. Y de mi parte es todo, de nuestra parte es todo aquí con el señor David Schmidt. Quisimos tenerlo primero a él y después los demás presentadores, los senior directores, ejecutivos y presidenciales. Pues usualmente la dinámica es diferente. Usualmente empezamos primero el rango más bajo al rango más alto, terminando con el invitado especial. Pero por respeto al tiempo del señor David Schmidt, quisimos hacer la dinámica un poco diferente, y gracias por estar aquí. Nos quédense ahorita porque siguen diferentes senior directores, los directores ejecutivos, los presidenciales, y después los reconocimientos. Así es que quédense en lo que lo despido a él. Mr. David Schmidt, I was just telling our people, with that being said, let's make it to convention. Let's be at convention. Let's be part of this history in the making, and let's redefine the industry of network marketing together. But it starts there at the event, right? And we know that leaders are not made. Leaders are not born. Leaders are made leaders. Where are they made? At the events, at the conventions. Then therefore, if you're a leader, if they're a leader, if they want to become a leader, they have to be at convention, because they will be made into a leader by the experience, the competence that they'll develop, and the knowledge and the wisdom that they'll experience, and the application afterwards will give them the results to get those ranks, to get those checks, and get everything else, and get the growth, right? So with that being said, Mr. David Schmidt, I know we had more questions, and we can be here for the next 2-3 hours, 2 days, asking you questions, because you're just a wealth of knowledge. It's always so refreshing to hear you speak, because when you speak, we learn. and it's always great to be led by a leader, a mentor such as yourself, who has such experience in not only creating, developing, inventing, but also the knowledge that you carry from in the industry for the last 17, 18 years as running this company, and now with the people that are being associated with the company, like Miss Lori and Emily and everybody else in the corporate team, that we're going to take this company to $1 billion. I know it's no doubt we're going to be $1 billion brand in the next 2 to 3 years. It might even be sooner. So with that being said, I just want to thank you. Gratitude, show our gratitude to you for making this time out of your busy schedule. I know your time is valuable, and time is the one most expensive commodity we all have, and we can never get back. So thank you so much.